we'll go over to the Midwest region. Houston is the 1 seed. They play Northern Kentucky, and 116. I'm rolling with the Cougs.
It's
And
Basford's
then
playing,
that
right?
sets up.
Yeah, he's probable.
He's probable. Yeah,
He
I just saw that.
Yeah, I don't know why they'd play him. They don't need him.
No.
Yeah. Probably that first weekend they don't. Maybe just to get his conditioning back or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
But and then it goes Iowa Auburn, and you know what? This is a rider pick. I'm going with the Hawkeyes. Fran McCaffrey. It's not the Sweet 16, so we're okay. I think he's going to shake off an embarrassing first round loss last year, and I think the Hawkeyes beat the Tigers. And then that goes down to the 5-12 matchup, Miami Drake. That one was a tough one for me. I bounced back and forth, but I'm going to roll with the Hurricanes. And then in the 4-13 matchup, and this is one that I also bounced back and forth with, Indiana-Kent State, because, you know, the MAC teams always seem to perform well in the big tournament. They've got veteran guards. They've given Houston and Gonzaga, and I think St. Mary's games, they've been competitive. I think they ended up losing, but they're battle tested, so they're not going to be afraid of the moment. But in the end, I think the Hoosiers are just too much for the Golden Flashes, and then go down to the 6-11, which is Iowa State, Mississippi State, or Pitt. Sorry, it was Pitt, not Mississippi State. I like Iowa State. I think Pitt looked really good on offense, but played in the ACC or in the ASS conference this year. So I'm going to roll with the Cyclones. So we got two Iowa teams moving on in the Midwest region, making the Midwest proud. And then Xavier, Kennesaw State. Kennesaw State, tremendous story. But the storybook gets shut against the Musketeers, and Xavier moves on. What's that?
That seemed personal.
Dylan's just a big Sean Miller guy.
Yeah.
Just a big Sean Miller guy.
NDSU played Kennesaw State when I was a manager for the basketball team, and I was walking out with one of the guys, and I held the door, and he kind of caught up to me, and I was like, "Oh, hey, good game." He's like, "Thanks." I'm like, "First time in North Dakota?" And he's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Well, what you think of it?" "Fucking freezing, bro." So that's my Kennesaw State story. And then we got Texas A&M Penn State in the 7-10 matchup. And you know what? I like Penn State. I think Texas A&M, they've been crying over their seed. You know, they played a slapdick non-conference schedule. That's why they are a 7 seed. They're going to keep crying about it. Penn State's going to go find a way to win. And I like Penn State to move on to the second round. And then we got Texas Colgate. Texas been one hell of a year for the Longhorns. And through all the adversity, I think they've found a way to get to the 2 seed. They've won the Big 12 tournament last week. I like the Longhorns. Hook them. And then back up to the second round, Houston, Iowa. I like Houston. I think Houston will play stifling defense. Iowa won't know what to do with it. Fran McCaffrey his best defense might be just staring at a ref and hope it works out. But I like the Cougars advancing. And then we got Miami, Indiana. And I don't know why, but I'm going to go with Miami. Probably a stupid pick, and it's going to bite me in the ass, but it's already in ink, so I'm rolling with the Hurricanes. It'll make up for their horrible football season. And then Iowa Xavier, big Sean Miller guy. So, you know what? Go Musketeers. And then we got Penn State, Texas. I've never been to Pennsylvania. I've been to Texas. The Eagles are in Pennsylvania, and the Cowboys are in Texas, so I'm going with Texas.
Thanks for the geography lesson there.
And then we've got Houston, Miami, and I like the Cougars. I like the Cougars. Yep. I think Miami, their luck runs out, and then which sets up Xavier, Texas, and I like Texas. I think Texas moves on to the Elite Eight, I think their interim coach should get his interim tag removed and
He's
just
probably
go
gonna
with
be-
him. Texas
He's
will
probably going
overthink.
to be be
Well,
National Coach of the Year.
Oh, he has to be. And I mean, Texas will overthink this and think we need this big name, but they're playing well. He did a heck of a job, and yeah, but Texas will Texas, and they'll screw it up because that's what they do. And we've got Houston, Texas, a battle of Texas in the Elite Eight matchup in the Midwest, and I'm gonna go with. I like the Cougars. I think they find a way to get to play a Final Four in their home city, and they get back there for their second time in 3 years, back to Houston.
All right. Well, talking about Houston, they demolish Northern Kentucky with or without Marcus Sasser. Doesn't matter. They're going to beat the living hell out of them. Down to Iowa, Auburn. When Iowa's not at Carver Hawkeye Arena, they can't hit water if they fell out of a boat. So we are going to go with Auburn, especially playing in their own backyard. I don't know how far it is from Auburn to Birmingham, but it's in the same state, so it can't be too far. That state's very narrow. So Auburn's going to win that one. Go down to Drake, Miami. I'm taking Drake. I think Tucker DeVries is going to be a name everyone's going to know after this tournament. The dude is an absolute beast. So he's going to take that game over. Indiana, Kent State. If it was Kent State football, I'd take him because Kenny Burns is now their football coach, but he is not their basketball coach. So Indiana is going to win that game. Iowa State, Pittsburgh. No one likes Pittsburgh. I'm sorry, but Iowa State wins. Xavier, Kennesaw State. I know nothing about Kennesaw State, but Xavier's going to beat the living doors off them. Penn State, Texas A&M. Texas A&M struggles to score. Penn State doesn't. So Penn State by TKO. And then Texas, Colgate. Texas uses Crest, not Colgate, so they will be moving on. Yes, on to the top again. Houston, Auburn. I think Houston's too good, even with a maybe iffy Marcus Sasser. I still think they can get by Auburn. Drake, Indiana. I haven't fixed it on my bracket yet, but I am taking Drake. I think Indiana can neutralize, TJD enough. Or Trace Jackson Jr., TJJ. I don't know. Well, I don't know what they call him. But
Trace Jackson Davis.
Davis.
Timeout.
Yes, I was right. TJD.
You know, since we are doing a bracket, the tournament hasn't started yet. Yeah. I'm making an amendment.
To do that.
Sure.
I am. I'm flipping from Drake to beat Miami, and then Indiana to beat Drake.
Okay.
Indiana's in the Sweet 16?
There.
Yeah,
yes.
For Dylan, yeah. I have Drake. I think I don't think Indiana has enough around TJD to actually beat Drake. Drake's a solid team. Down to Iowa State, Xavier. Iowa State is going to have to pray Gabe Kalsher can slow down Xavier's point guard or else they're screwed. So I'm taking Xavier. I don't think Gabe is up for the challenge. He had his one good game in the tournament with Minnesota, so he is done in Minnesota terms. Like, you only get one shot. Penn State, Texas. I'm going to Texas. Penn State has done bad things in the history, and Texas is going to make them pay. Houston in Drake. Sorry, I almost says Indiana. Houston wins. I think they are good to go past Drake. It doesn't matter with Sasser or not. These first 3 games, I don't think they need him. Down to Xavier, Texas. This is probably going to be one of the top 5 games of the tournament if it happens. But I got Texas moving on too. Just too veteran, too good. They go on to play Houston. And I think this is where it hurts Houston to have Sasser not at 100%. I think Texas beats them. I had Houston to win it all before the year. I basically was going to pick them even up until I heard Sasser hurt his groin. That's just too much of a easily re-aggravated injury for me. I don't want to risk it. So we are going with Texas. And if they make it to the Final Four, I think the coach keeps his job. But I'm not going to sit here and act like 18-7 with that roster is super, super impressive.
Well, yeah, especially with how old this roster is and how much college basketball they've played. I mean, I get the Big 12 is a hell of a conference, but
yeah, but he was granted basically the best
with that roster and at that school with that talent, the money they spend at you. To your point, Ethan, 18-7, it's what any coach should do at Texas. Yeah,
he should be like 20-3.
All right. Well, like you guys said, we're going to start at the top. And who's Houston playing? Northern Kentucky.
Yep.
All right. Well,
Yeah,
I'm going to take
Northern
the
Kentucky.
Cougars over the Hillbillies of Northern Kentucky. That one's pretty easy. Nobody
Bourbon
likes
Boys.
anything to do with the state of Kentucky. It's the armpit of America. Besides California, if we could kick a state out, it would be Kentucky. So go Cougs.
Hey, Kentucky Derby, Kentucky Bourbon. There's worse states like Alabama.
Yeah, Louisville
fuck 'em.
Slugger.
Fuck 'em. We'll send Ethan to go.
Muhammad Ali, the greatest is from
I'm not a
Kentucky.
boxing guy. I don't care. Get rid of those crazy white hillbillies. Kentucky's gone. Okay.
I'm gonna get you a glass of wine right now just to piss you off because you
I
made
did
fun of
make fun of
Kentucky.
Kentucky.
There, you do it, Ethan.
It's not
Attaboy.
going to phase me because I'm used to this by now. Because Ethan.
All right, go pick your
I
team to
actually
lose
am
now.
going to pick
Iowa, Auburn. You're not a writer like I am.
I'm not, but also I know, like Ethan says, Iowa away from Carver Hawkeye Arena is a below 500 basketball team, and I'm
They're
just
terrible.
worried that if they don't go fast in this game and they let Auburn set up their half-court defense with how long and how fast and athletic they are, Iowa's not going to be able to get past them. If Auburn's defense is going to put the clamps down, I think if Iowa wants to win, I think they're going to have to go fast. If Auburn hits a shot, they're going to have to score in transition. So, what the fuck are you doing? Are you looking down on me?
Are you peeing?
It looks like he's trying to do a lat spread, but I know he doesn't work out his back, so his back's not
I'm
impressive.
very concerned for
I think
his
he's
health
looking
right now.
down on me because I picked.
No, I was trying to do the Fran McCaffrey, but you weren't smart enough to catch on. Damn it!
That was awkward. I'm not gonna
What
lie.
the
That
hell
was
is
a little
going
weird.
on?
I was hoping. I don't know how long my headphone cord
Actually,
extends.
though, that's probably what Kelly Pfeiffer felt like, though, because he is like maybe 5'10". Fran is like
6'6".
6'6".
I should have brought out the glasses too and put those on and then
I wish
stared
that
at
instead
you.
of holding my notebook here, I wish I was holding a basketball.
No, his hands are on his hips. That's right.
So yeah, War Eagle in that game, unfortunately. What the hell is next? I totally lost my train.
Miami Drake.
Well,
Drake.
unfortunately, I'm going to let the state of Iowa down again, and I'm going to go with the Hurricanes. I just think maybe they're going to be a little too athletic for Drake there, and they're going to pull off the big dub. And then 4-13 matchup.
4-13 matchup.
Indiana Kent
State.
I'm gonna roll with Indiana. I think Mike Woodson, he's gonna have time. He's gonna be able to get a good game plan down. Indiana's got those two big time players. Indiana's gonna get the dub right there.
All right, and then Iowa State.
I've been dogging the ASK conference, but I'm gonna go with Pittsburgh just because if Gabe Kalsher doesn't play well, Iowa State cannot score points. In Pittsburgh, they're just kind of a rough and rowdy team. I don't think Gabe, like Ethan said, he had his one good game in the tournament. He's already done that. I think Iowa State's going to struggle to score, and Pitt's going to pull off the upset. But like Ethan said, nobody likes anything to do with Pittsburgh, so I don't feel great with this pick. But I'm rolling. It's just a shitty state. It's a dirty state. Nothing. What good has come from Pennsylvania? I couldn't get in the office. I couldn't get into it. So I'm sorry, Dylan. You can't get me there. I respect the Steel.
Steel and Philly cheesesteaks.
That's the only two good things.
And Rocky.
I'm
not going to get into the fictional character like those stupid Eagles fans, but we're
yeah, fuck them. Fly, Eagles, fly. Hope you crash.
Remember, James Berry held on that play. What the ref call? What's the next game?
What do we got here?
Xavier.
Yeah, it's the Sean Miller show. Xavier's rolling. They're gonna advance right there.
And then
like Ethan said, Penn State has done some bad things. A&M is from the state of Texas. I'm going with the Aggies. I think, Dylan, to your point, they're gonna use that where they felt slighted as a 7th seed, and they're gonna have a good game plan down, a good week of practice. Buzz Williams is gonna get the Aggies ready. Even though they wear Adidas, and I hate their head football coach because he lays up on a par 4, I'm going to go with the Aggies. Par 5, par 4, whatever it is. Jimbo Fisher,
Could be a par 3. He putted
Jimbo
on a par
Fisher
3.
lays up. So I don't like. He is
Jimbo's
such
a bitch.
That's a game day sign right there. We just gave somebody if game day ever goes to wherever the Aggies are playing is Jimbo lays up
when
on
they
a par
show
3.
when they go to Austin for Texas's first home game in the SEC. We might have to
go and
Austin
just hold
for
up that sign.
So I'm gonna roll with the I'm gonna go with the Aggies right there. Texas Colgate, like Ethan said, Crest is a superior toothpaste. We're going with the Longhorns.
Okay, and then we're back up to the top. We've got Houston
Auburn.
Auburn.
Well, now Auburn finally matches up with someone who can match them athletically. And Auburn has trouble scoring, so give me the Cougs. Give me the Cougs to advance. And then Miami is playing Indiana.
Indiana.
You know what? I had Miami on my sheet, but I'm going to change that. I'm going to go with the Hoosiers.
Ooh.
I think this will be a Mike Woodson special, and I think Indiana's going to get back to the Sweet 16. So I got to change that. I was going to go with Miami, but we're rolling with the Hoosiers.
Alrighty, and then we've got Iowa State Xavier.
Well, Pittsburgh Xavier.
Pittsburgh
I think this
Xavier,
is where Pittsburgh luck runs out. And again, Sean Miller, he got caught on the hot with the wire, but he's a good basketball coach, and I'm gonna go Xavier into the Sweet 16. And then we just talked about Texas and Texas A&M as a possible football matchup in College Game Day that we need to go to with a sign. But I'm gonna go with the Horns right here, just because, like Ethan said, they're veteran laden team. They have so many guys who have played over 100 games in college basketball. They're going to be ready to play. The Horns advance. And then in my first Sweet 16 matchup, I got Houston versus Indiana. Well, this is where Indiana's luck runs out, and I think the Cougs get a big win right there. And then Xavier versus Texas, like Ethan said, this will probably be one of the best games of the tournament. But I'm going to go with that experienced team in Texas who's been around a lot. And I think so far, Ethan and I are 3 for 3. In Final Four teams, I got Texas. Texas beating Houston. Getting there. I think after beating Kansas twice in this last week by 20-plus points, winning the Big 12 tournament, Texas has got some motivation, and motivation takes you a hell of a long way in March. So the Horns get to the Final Four.
Okay, so to recap right now before we go to the West, I have Alabama, Kentucky, Houston. Ethan has Alabama, Marquette, Texas, as does Grant. So